and welcome to Inner Circle Guidance. Today we're going to be doing a collective reading, but for those of you who are new to the circle, hello and welcome. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. I post new videos every single day. And if you're looking for personal services or personal readings, I offer them through my website, innercircleguidance.com. Let's find out what the circle needs to know today. We have the Star. We have Judgment. We have the Sun. We have the Page of Wands. We have the Queen of Wands. We have the Lovers on the bottom of the deck. A lot of major arcana on the table. Overall, the energy I'm picking up on here with the Lovers being on the bottom of the deck, that this reading has a lot to do with choices. But what I'm seeing is that because the angels keep sticking out to me, and then we have the Star here on the table. A lot of you have been receiving a lot of divine guidance from your guides, from spirit. There's a lot of synchronicities happening, but you're sort of misinterpreting certain aspects of the signs that you're receiving. I'm picking up on this energy where you think that in order to move forward, you need to sort of be making the right choices and putting more work into your manifestations. Like you have these actions that you're supposed to be taking. I'm seeing that there are actions you can be taking, and some of that may be correct, but for a lot of you, what actually you're being prompted to do when it's referring to the work and the changes that you need to make and the actions you need to take, it's not so much actions towards your manifestations, it's actions towards your spiritual work and balance. We have the Lovers on the table, which also has to do with balance. And then we have the Star, which has to do with balance. A lot of you are rushing towards your goals. You're constantly on the go. You're in the rat race. And what you're sort of missing here is that you're missing very important guidance because you are not allowing yourself to slow down. And as Oprah likes to say, the most important thing that you can give yourself is time for stillness. And the reason why I agree with that, and I think it's so important, is in the stillness is when you have the ability to tap into the divine in a more direct and calm way. So especially for those of you who struggle with high highs and low lows, or struggle with frenetic energy, there's an ease that comes when you are grounded, when you take the time for yourself. It allows you to tap into your inner needs and desires. It allows you to be more authentic with how you want to move forward and with your decision making. It also allows you to reflect. And this gets into sort of the inner child work of getting into your subconscious mind, getting into the things that really make you tick, the masculine energy that drives your logic, reason, practicality. When you are aligning to your spiritual practices, to where it's keeping you grounded and present, that is what allows you to make a lot of progress very quickly and efficiently, because you're in tune and you're tapped in and you're getting the stage directions from the universe in a way where you're not misinterpreting things, you're not acting unintentionally, you're not impulsive, you're not just rushing towards the end of things. Some of you, it's like small things that need to be adjusted. What I recommend, and this is something that I do, and I've been doing more consistently recently, which has really helped me. And I've said this before, when you receive your messages, you should be writing them down so that you can keep track of them. But what I think sort of we forget to do is we think, okay, we wrote them all down, we can go back, we can look at them, okay. But if you're not reflecting on them the next day and taking the messages from the previous day and reflecting on them and taking that time in stillness to actually understand all aspects of the message, there's important things you're going to be missing. So what I've been doing more recently is I've actually been reflecting on the previous day each morning so that I can actually get to the root of the messages and things I'm being sent. You'll start to notice additional synchronicities, additional bigger picture messages that you didn't notice when you're just looking at it and writing it down and like keeping track of it, because you're not taking that time to connect, to sort of connect all the dots. I think what you really need to do is you need to take that time for reflection. For those of you who have been receiving, like, you need to get better with your planning, or you need to make certain changes in your life in order to usher in your abundance, or you need to take action. This is the action that you're being prompted to take. It's not taking action towards your goals. It's not rushing. It's not, oh, you're not doing enough to accomplish things. You're actually being prompted to slow down. This also gives you an opportunity to focus your energy. The Queen of Wands is an energy where it's sort of like a sunflower. The sunflower turns towards the sun. We have the sun here, we have sunflowers again. But that can be good in terms of you're turning towards what brings you joy and whatever, but if it's unfocused energy, that also means that you're inconsistent. If you want to have consistent energy moving forward and you want to be in an energy where you're manifesting with ease instead of resistance and frustration, you're going to need to slow down so that you can be more intentional and move forward in a way that's more focused. Allow your curiosity to really drive you. As you're receiving a lot of these messages, we sort of think that we need to have these huge epiphanies and we need to direct the message, that it needs to be complicated. When you're receiving these messages and these synchronicities, these angel numbers, the thoughts that you naturally have that just instinctually come first usually are an indication of what the message is about. Because sometimes we get so caught up in trying to get a specific answer instead of receive the guidance that we sort of forget that the answer lies within us. Ultimately, we're the deciding factor. The universe isn't telling us you have to do it like this way. The universe is giving us promptings to figure out what's more in alignment with us. The planning and things that you're being prompted to do more have to do with the reflection and the choices you're making to actually find a spiritual practice that works for you, that keeps you present and grounded, that allows you to understand the guidance you're getting and then actually make the choices to move forward in the right ways. It allows you to use your masculine energy of logic, reason, and practicality in a way that allows you to reflect on things in a positive way so that you can move forward instead of getting caught up in, well, if I want to succeed, I have to do this goal and this thing and that thing. All of that is great, but sometimes when you get so focused on the outcome, you end up doing a lot of these things because you think you need it, but you actually don't. And that comes in for a lot of different reasons. For some, it has to do with validation. For some, it has to do with limiting beliefs. For some, it has to do with the idea that you think you have to work really hard in order to achieve the things that you want, that it can't be easy. I promise it may seem as if it's insignificant, or it may seem like by slowing down and taking time for stillness, you're wasting time or you are not using that time effectively, but it's actually more productive to do that. You've got to start looking at taking time for yourself as an investment in you and your goals instead of looking at it as a reward or as insignificant or as something to be sacrificed. That's going to bring a lot more balance into your life, a lot more fulfillment. And I think that has to do too with, because the snake keeps sticking out to me in the Lovers card. This entire card is a depiction of Adam and Eve. And we've talked about this in other readings of what you consume, you become. So if you're constantly consuming the idea of, I have to sacrifice myself to be happy, I have to sacrifice my time to be happy, investing in myself is a waste of time, or taking time for myself is a waste of time, or I don't deserve it, those things that sort of creep in with the snake here of doubt, then you're allowing that to be the consumption that you are putting into yourself and into the universe. You're allowing that to be the driving food of what it is that you're doing and how you're going about your intentions. So specifically for those of you who really struggle with attaching your self-worth and happiness to the outcome of your perceived successes or failures, this is going to be very important for you moving forward, because it's going to allow you to remove that and allow yourself to look at your successes and failures as an amplification of who you already are versus it being the driving factor of your happiness or not happiness, or it being a reflection of your worth. It's very easy to say, oh, I'm worthy, but believing it is different. You have to get into a state of believing you're worthy. In order to do that, that means you have to invest in yourself. For those of you who struggle with self-worth, who struggle with self-confidence, who struggle with needing external validation, or struggle with overgiving, this is going to be hard for you in the beginning. It's going to feel like you're wasting time, or you're not being productive, or you're not moving fast enough towards your goals. That is normal. You are debunking a default setting and a limiting belief. And remember, I say this a lot. Any change, whether it's welcome or not, is going to be uncomfortable at first because you're having to change the way you're doing things, the way you're thinking about it, the way of being. This is going to be important, though, for your future. You need to figure out what spiritual practices work for you to keep you grounded, to keep you tapped into that stillness, because it's in the stillness that the divine comes. It's in that stillness when the answers and the clarity comes. But if you're constantly seeking, and you're attached to the outcomes, you're attached to the answer, you lose the answer because you're so focused on receiving an answer that you don't just allow things to fall into place. You're controlling everything. You need to release some of that control and allow things to flow naturally. So your affirmation for this reading is: taking time for my spiritual practices and self-care is an investment in myself. It's an investment that I always receive a return on. And as always, may your life be full of light, full of love, abundance, and gratitude. I'll see you next time.